Alright, so we are in downtown Montreal. Jake Shimabukuro.
Hey,
I managed. I got the name right. So Jake played a show last night. He killed it, man. He killed it with his ukulele. Did you ever get this feeling like you were gonna have to make the ukulele cool? Does anyone ever tell you that? Like you're like, thanks man for like making the ukulele cool again?
When you go to an ukulele concert, you know, your expectations of the music is already so low that you know, for me there's not a lot of pressure, you know, when I'm performing, and I just love that, you know, because people aren't intimidated by the instrument. It's very friendly, kind of makes you smile whenever you hear it and talk about it. So that's what I love about it. Musicians, they'll come to the shows and you know, they got all the piercings, they're total rockers, you know, and they'll come to the show and they'll bring their ukuleles and they'll tell me like, hey, you know, I used to play electric guitar, but you know, recently I saw that video of you playing, and then they went out and bought an ukulele and they're really into ukulele now. So that makes me feel really good, you know, that it can kind of reach that, you know, such a wide audience, you know, and people of all ages. And I think that's one of the best things about this instrument is, you know, it appeals to so many different people. Well, you know, your three basic chords, and you hear this all the time in traditional Hawaiian music. It's like your standard D7 chord, G7 chord, and C chord. It's just how this is what,
so happy.
Yeah, and that's what I grew up playing, you know. And with just those three chords, I swear you can play 200 something traditional Hawaiian tunes. Like every other, you know, especially guitar players, like every other guitarist, I went through that phase of, you know, having like, you know, 100-pound pedal board with like, you know, 60 different pedals on there, and then one day I realized I felt like I couldn't play without my pedal board. You know, it was just, it became a crutch for me, and I just, if I didn't have my pedal board, I almost felt like I can't play my instrument, and I didn't like that feeling, you know, because I started out just playing this ukulele, you know, it was just me and the instrument, that's all I needed. About 2.5 years ago, I did that. You know, I recorded an album with Mac McAnally, and it's an album called Gently Weeps, and it's just the first, you know, it's just like 12 tracks of just solo acoustic ukulele tunes, you know, and it was scary, you know, because I didn't have a band with me, I wasn't using all my crazy effects, I just had to rely on my fingers, and it was really tough, you know, it was an eye-opening experience for me. And then now touring, you know, I've been just traveling by myself and then doing these shows where it's just taking my ukulele and plugging straight into the DI box, you know, and it's been a real challenge, because to keep the show interesting, you know, I mean, I don't have any like distortion box or any kind of you know, wah-wah pedal or anything where I can add all these different colors to keep the audience you know, interested. So I have to rely on my hands and just trying to create different tone colors and all that. And
I can tell you there was no problem keeping the audience interested last night. And Jimi Hendrix of ukulele, which is one thing.
Fan of Montreal Jazz Festival. This is my first time. Never ever thought that I'd ever be performing, you know, as an artist here. But so it's been such an honor and a thrill for me. You know, I mean, I've been pinching myself, you know, every morning, you know, just being a part of the festival. Become a professional musician, you know. I mean, being an ukulele player back then, you know, you couldn't. It wasn't like something you could just, oh, I'm gonna be a
Ukulele player.
rockin' ukulele player, and I'm gonna tour and do all this. A major stepping stone for me was about 5-6 years ago when I signed with Sony Music Japan, and that was my record label. It was the first time they ever signed an ukulele player to their label, and that was really exciting. It started there, and then I started releasing some of my own solo albums, and then and definitely that little video footage of me playing on YouTube, that got me a lot of exposure, and from that it led to opening and touring with other bands like Bela Fleck and the Flecktones.
Oh, they're amazing. Bela Fleck's incredible.
Recently I've been touring with Jimmy Buffett.
I saw that video of you guys chilling on the beach.
Oh yeah. So so that's been that's been really great too. They've been so supportive, and I've just been very fortunate to meet wonderful people along the way that have kind of guided me or they've been great mentors and great role models. And especially for this instrument, I'm constantly trying to find my place in different styles of music. So we're at a jazz festival, trying to find my place in this genre. Even if it's in a classical setting or like playing with a blues band or a rock band, it's just you gotta find your little place, and you have to kind of make your own role, I guess, which is a lot of fun. I haven't released a full album in at least 2 years, so I'm looking to go back to the studio, starting with all fresh material, and just gonna see what happens.
Nice. Very much, man. Anytime. So yeah, Velvet Panda, downtown Montreal. Jake Shimabukuro. I'm like so nervous every time I say it. It's like